Welcome to the Daily Show. We got one for you tonight. My name is Jon Stewart. What a program we have designed for you, a la carte. It's going to be fantastic. Our guest tonight, General Stanley McChrystal, will be joining us. Wrote a book. Chances are I will McRib him about the McRack War. All right, first, President Donald Trump. No! Respect his authority. Honestly, so much comes at us every day with him, I can't even sleep, organize, thoughts, eat. And he knows. He knows he's toying with us. Here he is on Tuesday of last week.
We're going to have a very, very big announcement to make, like as big as it gets, and I won't tell you on what.
Oh, good. So we won't know how to prepare. Should we wear our good pants or the ones we piss in? But fine, don't tell us this big announcement. Just tell us when.
And that announcement will be made either Thursday or Friday or Monday before we leave.
Why are you mentioning it? Is it sweeps week? Is that what this is? But fine. We will keep our eyes out for any announcement bombshells. And on Friday, I think we got one.
The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at.
The government, the United States government, is actively looking at suspending due process and the rule of law. That's a big announcement. Big enough for Stephen Miller to risk bursting into flames because of the touch of God's sunlight.
The only time a president has done it unilaterally without the authorization of Congress was Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War.
That was the last. Really? So back when slavery was legal and the treatment for diarrhea was amputation. But that being said, this is a big announcement.
As you know, ability of somebody to challenge their rights in courts is a pretty essential part of the rule of law. So certainly raising a lot of eyebrows with that comment.
Just eyebrows? The Trump administration is thinking of tearing up the Constitution. So here in Washington, we're hearing a lot of, huh. One legal scholar even said, that's weird. So maybe that's the announcement. Suspension of habeas corpus, unless there's something else.
President Trump is appointing former New York prosecutor Jeanine Pirro as interim U.S. attorney.
You may say to yourself, well, that can't be the announcement. Because that's just not that big a deal. Yet in this new world that we live in, this announcement registers the same as suspending habeas corpus on the eyebrowometer.
Jeanine Pirro, a lot of eyebrows are being raised at this pick so far.
Hey, Jeanine! You're going to be the new U.S. attorney in D.C. Yeah, I know! We're surprised, too. That is, by the way, the sound. Oh, also, they're suspending habeas corpus. Same. All right. So maybe that's the big announcement. But hey, we've got until today for any other announcements. Was there anything else?
The Trump administration is preparing to accept a super luxury Boeing jumbo jet from the royal family of Qatar.
That luxury jumbo jet, which has a value estimated at $400 million, the aircraft would be used by President Trump as a new Air Force One and then transferred to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation shortly before he leaves office.
What? Qatar is giving us a plane that Trump gets to keep. He's like the reverse Oprah. I get a jet, and that's it. I get a jet for my library. Why does his library need a jet? Why would your presidential library need... yeah, hello, I'm calling from Europe, and I need a book about Trump by morning. And the book must travel in the comfort and style one can only get from Qatar.
It's known as the most luxurious private jet in the world, described as a flying palace. It features the biggest master bedroom in the sky, as well as some very plush living quarters and several private offices. Some of the 9 bathrooms on board have full showers and even a bidet.
Oh, I didn't even know water could go there. Okay. Holy crap. That is not a plane. That is a flying palace. I'm not going to tell Trump how to run his business, but I would steam the shit out of those carpets. But hey, it's a jet from Qatar. We can trust them. They're not suspect like Canada or working to undermine us like all of our other democratic allies in Europe.
Qatar is considered an American ally, but it is also an ally of Iran and China and even Hamas.
Oh! Trump's going to take a $400 million jet from people he would expel from Columbia University. I think, you know what? This is shocking. This is shocking. I think I know what this news might do to our eye pubes.
It raises many, many eyebrows to have this sort of deal at all.
Actually, that's how the plane flies. It overcomes Earth's gravity through the power of the raised eyebrows. Look, obviously, the president would understand that a gift of this magnitude from a government with questionable ties to terror organizations, combined with Article 1, Section 9, constitutional prohibition against the president accepting a foreign flying palace, he would understand that that's a legitimate... I'm just kidding. He was appalled that you'd even ask.
They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us... I want to pay you $1 billion or $400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
It's not a free jet. That's the point. You know the expression, there's no such thing as a free lunch? That's about being skeptical of the motives of somebody who gives you a sandwich. A sandwich, a BLT. Now, imagine that BLT has an engine, 9 bathrooms, and funds proxy wars. So in the dizzying run-up to this big announcement of the possible suspension of habeas corpus, or maybe the appointment of another Fox News star, or the naked bribery of our highest elected officials, none of those were Trump's big announcement.
President Trump just announced that prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced by 30 to 80% almost immediately. This appears to be the major announcement that the president has been teasing for days.
I am having wanted that for years. Pharma has exploited the American consumer while we have in turn subsidized their whole industry with tax incentives and direct funds. I like this. But without getting into the weeds, explain this thing that I've wanted for a very long time, like I'm incredibly dumb.
Drug prices will come down. We're getting them down 60, 70, 80, 90%. But actually more than that, if you think about it in the way mathematically.
If you think about it mathematically. I don't want to brag, but I often think about numbers mathematically. How is this going to work?
The rest of the world's going to have to pay a little bit more, and America's going to pay a lot less. Basically, what we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize.
Europe, Eureka, Euclid. Yeah, here it is. Equalize. I thought it sounded familiar. Look. He's trying to kill us all. Look, I would like to think that the tenacious pleadings of progressive leaders like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders helped make this possible.
We are sick and tired of paying by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs.
I'm going to attack the prices on commonly used drugs.
Put a cap on the cost of insulin, a cap on the cost of prescription drugs.
And not one of those child caps that you can't. I have diarrhea. What's happening? Unfortunately, it turns out credit for the biggest, most important announcement in the history of this presidency goes to someone else.
I mean, I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight.
That took a turn. Top guy, brilliant, you know him, famous, bit of a chubs. Anyway, I'm sure public press coverage is a rough way for this guy to find out that he is saved in Trump's phone as neurotic fat friend. But what else can you tell us about this friend who's very famous, successful businessman?
A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug.
Fat shot? The fat shot? Do you read any of your briefings? He takes the fat shot. You know, the fat shot. I got another friend, brilliant, real estate mogul. He takes the dick stiff pills. This guy takes the fat shot. This guy takes the dick stiff pills. I'm sorry, continue the story about this fat of a friend of yours.
And he called me up and he said, President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working.
Yo, Rickles, that is ice cold. Your friend is like opening up, like, oh, I took this bad drug. He's like, it's not working. He's like, I'm trying. This poor guy. He's just catching strays in the middle of a presidential press conference. Trump's talking about drug pricing reform, and he's like, hey, when this guy goes to the hospital, the nurse gives him 50 cc's of Crisco. He's fat. Hey, my friend, he's very successful, went to London, and when they saw him, they changed the name of Big Ben to just Ben, because this guy's fat. He's a fat piece of shit, this guy. Anyway, back to life-saving drug pricing. Again, President Trump, what does any of this have to do with pricing?
He said, I just paid $88, and in New York I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on? He said, so I checked, and it's the same box, made in the same plant, by the same company. It's the identical pill. This is a great businessman, but he's not familiar with this crazy situation that we have. But he was stunned.
Yeah, he was as stunned as he is fat. I mean, boy, what is... By the way, I don't know if anybody realized, but the fat shot somehow turned into a fat pill in the middle of the story. It's how you know the story is true. But you know, whether the story is true or not, Donald Trump's point is, if you find yourself in the socialized healthcare systems of London and you want to run out and get some Ozempic and some fish and chips, don't bother, because his fat of a friend ate them all like a pot of orcas on a tuna bender. But the point is... Right now, his poor friend is at home going, don't look at me. It feels like a decade ago that they threatened to suspend habeas corpus. It was Friday. That long ago yesteryear when the Knicks were still up 2-0. And since then, we've had the largest bribe ever given to an American president, the seeming surrender of a trade war we started, and the socializing of our pharmaceutical industry. What even is this country? And what operating... 4 months ago, we were a standard issue democratic constitutional republic. Now we're some kind of anarcho, klepto, socialist, communist, Silk Road reality show. The only foundational unchanging edict that we can even hang our hats on anymore is that whatever we are now as a country, that country is closed to any refugees. As Stephen Miller said, America is now for Americans only. So hopefully there will be no more surprise announcements that overturn that apple cart.
After pausing virtually all refugee admissions for those fleeing war and famine, the Trump administration is now planning to welcome one group, white South Africans.
What the White South Africans? That's the only group we're opening? What? You already have one. What? Why? You know what, Mr. President? You don't need 37 South Africans. Now you'll make do with just 1 or 2. Wait, this wouldn't have anything to do with the white thing, would it?
Their land is being confiscated in South Africa. I don't care about their race, their color. I don't care about their height, their weight.
Oh, you care about their weight.